Hey folks, Daily Landsblog for October the 5th, 2020. Two different ways to look at things. There's the old way, the antiquated way, the way that for probably a couple of centuries people looked at something like addiction, and then there's the new way. And the new way basically is based on what we've learned. And there's such a difference between how people look at it. And that difference was hugely evident last Tuesday at the presidential debate. When Donald Trump challenged Joe Biden, and it really wasn't a challenge as much as he tried to insult him, talking about his son who had an addiction problem. And Joe Biden said, I'm really proud of my son because he's overcome his addiction. And Trump was trying to portray the son and therefore the father in a certain negative light because he had an addiction. And, you know, you'd like to believe that we're past that, but obviously we're not. And I saw this on Twitter, Case. I'm going to read it and then I'll turn it around. This picture of Joe Biden and his son. My son, like a lot of people you know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud of my son. That's what Joe Biden said, and here's the picture that went along with it. I just kind of I was touched by that. I love the language that he used, like he fixed it, and we all know that addiction, real addiction, which is what he went through, is a lifelong battle, that once you start to assume that you got it beaten, that, you know, maybe you're letting down your guard. But outside of the language of that, him saying, I'm not ashamed. My son had an addiction. My son beat the addiction. But even in the context of if his son was still struggling with addiction, would that also be a way that you would try to insult an opponent? Your son's an addict. Okay. That's like saying, your son has cancer, which of course Joe Biden's son did have cancer. His another son, obviously, who passed away. It's not an appropriate accusation. Your son's an addict. Really? So are you stating that as a fact? Or are you stating that because you think that people will think less of me because that's my son? SickNotWeak.com, 24 hours a day, 360 days a year. We're here because... Why are we here, Case?
Do you like to talk?
Because I like to talk. You can't cut this off, Case. You can't stop it. There's no way you can stop it. I'm just going to keep going, and you're not going to be able to